All right, boys and girls, Jamie here. So today we're going to talk about a concept in game which is very important for everybody to learn. Whether you're actually single and dating or whether you're just living a good life, this topic is going to be extremely important. I call it conversational ping pong. So where most people go wrong is when they're in a conversation, they say, I'm just going to use some of the most boring questions. Where are you from? Italy. Why did you come here? Oh, for work. How long have you been in the city? 5 years. What are you doing later? See how that totally takes the vibe, which might be starting up here, and you slowly see the light go out in the person's eyes as you just do this relentless wave after wave of interrogation questions. So what I mean when I say conversation ping pong, I mean there's actually an energy exchange and you respond to what they're saying. So we can even use the same questions, which by the way, I hate these for openers, but let's just do it anyway. So it can be, where are you from? She says, oh, Italy. Italy. Now let's just start right there. So repeating back what they said, let's call this echo. So you can echo what they said. So this is the very bare minimum for responding to what they say before you ask the next question, okay? So echo, where are you from? Italy, Italy. And now we have 3 different ways we can go with this for conversational ping pong today. So the 3 options we have from when we can echo it in a positive way. So that's value. Italy, awesome. Okay, so there we have value. Now we can do teasing. Italy? Really? Are you sure? So that's a little bit of teasing. And the most simple way you can turn an echo into a tease is they say, I'm from Italy. And you're like, Italy? Italy? You can just say what they said as a question, and that puts a little bit of a edge in it. And it might even make them talk a little bit and question. So lots of the times, if you repeat back what somebody said with a little bit of a question, Italy? They might feed you more information. Well, actually, it turns out I'm half German, half Italian, blah, 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 blah. So sometimes that's enough to get the person talking, and notice how they're doing their half or even more than their half of the conversation if you play conversational ping pong correctly. So we have value, which is Italy, awesome. We have teasing, which is Italy, really? I'm surprised. And then we have the third one, which is curiosity. Italy, I'm curious about that because I have a friend from Italy and she visited once and never came back. What's happening with you? Right? So these are our 3 tools in the toolbox for ping pong. We have value. Italy, awesome. But guys, if you're doing value the whole time, and this is the most common mistake people do, of course, interrogation is the worst of all. But then the next one that people do and they run into limitations is just question, answer, value, question, answer, value, question, answer, value. And then they're like a bobblehead, Oh, where are you from? Italy, wow, that's awesome. Oh, what do you study? Psychology? Oh, wow, that's awesome. Okay, so if you're just saying, wow, that's awesome, cool, to everything they say, it comes off as ingenuine. So you have to mix up a couple things where it's not positive, so that way when you do say something positive, it actually has some meaning. And if I can share a little anecdote, I'm friends with this extremely hot girl. It's kind of like, she looks like a graphic novel character drawn by a man. She's very blessed in the physical department. And when I ran into her at this club, she happened to be on a certain type of drug, which makes you very empathic and kind. So I was genuinely enjoying her presence, hanging out with her and a friend. It wasn't even really a date setup, but I was complimenting her on her vibe, which it was a compliment that she deserved because in this moment she was extremely kind to people. But because I didn't say anything edgy to her at all, like not even questioning or teasing a little bit, this is what she said to me. She's like, why are you just loving me so much? And it was really her rejecting or at least calling into question my genuineness because I didn't add any little stabbing. So it's like, positive value. Oh, awesome, 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 cool. Really? Italy? Really? Sorry, Italians. I love you guys. I'm just kidding. Just kidding about that too. Okay, so So this is an example of if you do too much positivity and it no longer seems like it's coming from your critical thinking, then it debases the value of your positive. So you have to do some teasing. And if the girl's extremely hot and very used to everybody being like, yeah, they call this being the bobblehead. So if she's used to a bunch of bobblehead guys, you can even have more liberty to tease even harder. Okay, so now just as a recap, we have our 3 tools. And let's just use echo all the time, because echo really slows it down and gives you time to think of what you're gonna say next. And guys, a lot of people's biggest complaint once they learn how to approach a girl is, I don't know what to say. Well, guess what? Good news. If you slow down, it shows that you're at ease, and it gives you more time to figure out what you're gonna say. So let's pretend the person in front of me is from Turkey. Wow, look at you. You have this vibe about you. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if you're from somewhere where they love cats. And she's like, oh yeah. So where are you from actually? Guys, I'm never gonna ask people this. I don't ask people where they're from. I wait to find out. But let's pretend I'm just a normal person, okay? So I'll be like, oh, where are you from? And she'll say, Turkey. And I'll say, Turkey. I'm so curious. What's it like living in Berlin when we have rats on the street instead of cats? Okay, so there I said, wow, I'm so curious. Oh, I'm so curious about that because the last time I went there, it was really cool, but a lot of things have changed, and I'm just wondering if you would still recommend Istanbul even with all the earthquakes, right? So there's value. I'm curious about blah, 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 and there's value. Or she says, Turkey. And I say, oh, that's so interesting because that's my second favorite country to go dancing. See how, if you say, oh, that's so interesting, responding to what they said, then you have a chance to insert your own thing. And it really gives you the speaking stick. And I can take that one level deeper. So I'll be like, oh, where are you from, by the way? I'm curious. Oh, I'll make it even better. I can do this even better. So instead of just asking where you're from, which is my least favorite question, I'll say, because of your look and your vibe and your accent, I'm so curious about where you're from. See how I didn't even ask the question? And then she'll tell me, I'm from Turkey. And I'll say, Turkey? Interesting. Yeah, that's so interesting because last time I went there, it was really cool, and I'm just wondering if they still have all the cats there. So that's how I use echo plus that's so interesting because, and now any type of value statement. We can do it again, and I'll do curiosity. So yeah, because of your look and your vibe and this accent, I gotta say, I'm so curious where you're from. I let the silence do the talking. She fills it in. Turkey. And I say, oh, Turkey. Wow, I'm so curious. I'm so curious if they still have all the cats. Did you see my favorite cat? The one with the spots in the it looks like a little jaguar? Yeah, that's my cat. Oh, you know my cat? Wow. That's crazy. We're sharing the same cat. So that's curiosity, for example. And now we can do tease, okay? So once again, I gotta say because of your look and your accent, I gotta say I am curious about where you're from. I'm not gonna ask, but I am curious. And then she'll say, I'm from Turkey. And then I'll say, oh no, not another one. You girls are heartbreakers. So beautiful, but so jealous. It would never work out between us. Which is true, by the way, and a tease. So that shows you how you can echo Turkey. Oh, no, Turkey, I thought I liked you, but I found out that it's never gonna work out between us. But you'd make a good friend for me. So this way we can do value, we can do curiosity, and we can do tease. And if you're ever wanting to make these even smoother, you ask a question, you get her answer, and you echo it a little bit. And then you can choose where to go from there. And if you do this, it's gonna make all of your standard get to know you small talk questions 100 times better. So go test it out and tell me how it works for you.